Now this is the setup that I've been using for a little over a year now. Not really sure on the mileage off the top of my head, but over a year now I've been running this setup. What I do is I have this and I'll fill it with a 55-gallon drum full of diesel and a 55-gallon drum full of my waste training fluid motor oil mix. I then let it settle for about a week. Now my oil settles first in the big 275-gallon cube I have in back, and then I just skim off the top of that. I don't actually ever suck anything below the bottom to, say, 10 inches. Now, once it goes into here, when it comes out of there, I put it into a 55-gallon drum, let it settle in that drum for about a week. Then I'll pump that 55 into here, add a 55 of diesel fuel, let it settle for another few days, usually like 2 to 3 days. Then I'll drain off a little bit of sludge that develops in the bottom. This is a cone-shaped container, so it collects all the sludge at the bottom. I'll drain that off. Then I'll run it through my filter bank. This is just a Harbor Freight pump. The key to making it work is having it below. It's basically gravity fed, so you don't have to prime it. Then it goes through my filters. Now those are just 10-inch house cartridge water filters. I got the 3-center ones on eBay for cheap. The other two I paid way too much at my local Home Depot or Lowe's for. But it runs through those. I got a 50, a 25, a 10, a 5, and a 1 micron filter in there. By being the cartridge style, they will also collect any water that I missed in my normal settling in the bottom of those filters. Now then it goes into, when I have the availability of it, this centrifuge here. Now you may have noticed that it has a centrifuge on top. That is a diesel crap. I've never been able to get this one to work right. I got to use from a friend. I just haven't had the right pump set up for it. I'm told it works very well, but I just use the Filter Max. I like the fact that it has the larger capacity and the fact that it's run independent of the, I can run it off of 220, which I have a diesel generator that I use to power the whole setup with. So, there you go. That's my setup. Been running this 6.2 diesel behind me on it for over a year. I've taken trips, you know, a couple of 1,500-mile road trips in it with no problems whatsoever. I changed the fuel filter in it twice in a year. The first time was at 200 miles of running this fuel, and that's the only time I've had any trouble with it. The other one was just preventative maintenance. But she runs good. Right now I'm doing some head work. I'm fixing to put a 6.5 turbo on it and upgrade the power, so I wanted to go through the heads before I did that. But it's a nice truck. After running it for a year, if you look, you can actually still see the cross homes in the cylinder bores. I'll have to grab a flashlight. So for those of you worried about scratching the cylinder bores due to running that fuel, I don't know if you can catch it on that camera, but you can still see the crosshatch in the cylinder bores. And this motor has over 100,000 miles on it, and I know that when I picked it up at 70,000 that it had never been running anything but regular diesel, and I've been running it since I purchased it on nothing but the black diesel. Anyhow, there you go.